So, back in our series of cocktails you can make out of things you have around the house, we're going to do a classic bourbon sour, or whiskey sour if you prefer. I'm using bourbon tonight, but you can do this cocktail with any type of blended whiskey. You could get real freaky and do an Irish whiskey, whatever your favorite stuff is. If you like Jack Daniels, this will work just fine as well. So, bourbon sour is a simple cocktail with just a few ingredients. Bourbon, just like the name suggests, sugar and lemons. That's basically all it takes. But great cocktails have great texture, and that means we need an emulsifier. Boom, we're gonna use an egg. We're gonna use egg whites in our classic bourbon sour. Now, if you go to the bar and you're ordering something like a bourbon sour, usually they're using sour mix, right? Now, the problem with sour mix is it is a pre-bottled ingredient that has all types of chemicals and binders and just fake emulsifiers. And that is what makes your cocktail have a sort of frothy little head on it. Now, we're not gonna use anything like that because chances are you don't have it at home, and frankly, it tastes like shit anyway, right? Let's be honest. So we're gonna use a real emulsifier, egg whites. So into a pint glass, we've got ourselves an egg white. We're going to get some bourbon in there in a second, but first, our next ingredient, very important, we're gonna do some fresh squeezed lemon juice. Now, I like julep strainers because I could do a lot of different things with them. I could squeeze my citrus directly over top of the julep strainer and not have to worry about any type of seeds or anything else. So I know you guys got lemons, I know you guys got eggs, and I know you guys got booze at home. So we're gonna get that in there over top of the egg white. Good stuff. And now we're gonna go in hard with some bourbon. Like I said before in a previous video, you could use a jigger if you like, or since you're at home, and if you're anything like me, you'll just measure your bourbon with your heart. So we're gonna go in pretty hard here. Now, we could always up our bourbon later. What we wanna do, we wanna start with a base and get our final ingredient in there, sugar. Here's what we got. I know you all have a crusty box of brown sugar somewhere. You got a crusty box of brown Domino. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit this up with some brown sugar. Now, this is gonna give the cocktail amazing body. Just 1 bar spoonful right now. We could always adjust this later. The important part about a bourbon sour is right now, to begin, this is what's called the dry shake. This is gonna help us emulsify and cook our egg white with citrus and booze. So, on top, your shaking tin. Give it a couple whips around. Now, trick to shaking, you wanna go this way action. You don't wanna be this person, all right? The liquid traveling along the side of the shaker tin and the glass, that's what you're going for. So you wanna give it some of this, all right? Now, we're going to get some ice involved. That's gonna give us dilution and turn it into an actual cocktail. You know you're getting in the game when you got condensation on the outside. That's how you know your shaking's done. Now, what we're gonna do next, give it a taste. You already know I like these laboratory pipettes. Lets me know if I'm in the slot. All right, in this case, I wanna do a couple things. I wanna get a little tad more sugar in. Give it a whip. Don't be afraid to adjust it as you go. We're working on cocktail magic here. So, you see we've got a coupe. The coupe is the traditional glassware for this cocktail. Some people want it on the rocks. Some people are gonna want this on a big cube. Here's the important thing you need to know. Since we've used the real egg white as the emulsifier, it's gonna give this cocktail beautiful texture, palate coating effect, very refreshing, but if we put it on ice, it's gonna create this weird separation thing going on in the glass. So the traditional way to drink this is in a coupe, and I know you have some fancy glassware tucked away somewhere that might be dusty right now that you're dying to clean off and use, so do that. You see, I chilled this one with some water and some ice. I'm gonna ditch that and get my cocktail in. Now I'm gonna use that spring-loaded shaker this time around. Spring-loaded shaker lets me do this, keep all the bad stuff out. Garnish with a lemon peel if you like, if you're feeling real fancy. But if you're just feeling froggy like me, take a sip. Bourbon Sour. Smells amazing, smells like fresh lemons. Absolutely fantastic. Refreshing, bourbon forward, great lemon flavor. Classic stuff you can make with things you have in your pantry right now. Classic cocktails. Drink up.